Hello everyone, welcome back to the next lecture on computer networks, and today we will see the basics of Cisco Packet Tracer part 1. Now we will see the outcomes of today's session. In today's session, we will be learning about how to download and work with Cisco Packet Tracer, and we will know the basics of Cisco Packet Tracer. We will establish an example peer-to-peer network using Cisco Packet Tracer. Now we will see what is the Cisco Packet Tracer. Before going into the Cisco Packet Tracer, we will now see what is this Cisco. It is a very popular software company and they are the leaders in networking. And Cisco Packet Tracer is an innovative and powerful networking simulation tool used for practice, discovery and troubleshooting. I will always tell myself and others to learn concepts both theoretically and practically. Rather than being mark-oriented guys, we must be knowledge-oriented guys. We must acquire sound practical knowledge so that it will help us to crack network-based interviews, it will help us to attempt well in GATE exams, it will help us to solve any analytical questions, and we are fortunate to have such a very powerful simulation tool that is the Cisco Packet Tracer because it helps us to understand networks practically. Now we will see how to download the Cisco Packet Tracer. To download the Cisco Packet Tracer, we are required to open any browser. Here I will prefer Chrome. Just click on Google Chrome and type netacad.com. Once you are done, just scroll a little bit. You will find the Packet Tracer option available here. Just click on this Packet Tracer option and you will be given up with a page that directs you how to download Cisco Packet Tracer. You can follow these steps in order to download the Cisco Packet Tracer. The fascinating point about this is that you can just enroll to download the Cisco Packet Tracer, where this enrollment has some benefits. The benefits are, you can learn Cisco Packet Tracer for free of cost, and it's a very short duration course and the length is just 10 hours. And obviously you will be in the beginner level. You can learn online and it is a self-paced learning mode. And you can choose some languages that are available for free. I will go with English. Just click on the sign up today and the language. And it will prompt you to enter the first name, last name and the email. After you are done with your first name, last name and email ID, submit button will be enabled. Click on the submit button and you can start learning and downloading the Cisco Packet Tracer. I have already downloaded the Cisco Packet Tracer, but I am using an older version here. If you enroll now, you can use the latest version of Cisco Packet Tracer. I am using Cisco Packet Tracer 6.2 in our lectures. After you download and install the Cisco Packet Tracer, just open the Cisco Packet Tracer. So I will now open the Cisco Packet Tracer. So Cisco Packet Tracer is being opened. Yes, now we got the Cisco Packet Tracer. And this is the workspace where we are going to build the network. And we have so many tools here. For example, if you click here, these are all routers. Cisco has a variety of routers. You can choose any of the routers you want. Since we are dealing with the basic concepts, you can choose any of the basic routers. And if you want switches, just click this one. You will get a variety of switches. And I will always prefer Cisco 2960 switch. If you want hubs, just click here. You will get some hubs. If you want to use some wireless devices in our workspace, just click here. So some wireless devices like wireless switches, access points, wireless routers, cell phone tower. And if you want some cables, just click this. You will get some cables. And we are concerned about these two cables. So this is straight through cable and this is crossover cable. And these two cables are Ethernet cables. And this is a coaxial cable. If you want serial cables, you can go for the serial cables. So in the initial part of our lectures, we will be dealing with this copper straight through cable and crossover cable. If you want end devices, just click here. You will get lots of end devices like our traditional computers or our desktop computers, laptops, servers, printers, voice over IP phones, televisions, wireless tablets, smartphones. And if you want security devices, just click on this. You will get security devices like firewall. We will be exploring many of these things in this series. For time being, we will just take two computers and we will establish a peer-to-peer network. To establish a peer-to-peer network, I am taking two computers. So after clicking on this end devices, we will get lots of end devices. So let me click on this device, that is our computer, our desktop computer. Click on this and click here. You can click again and click on the workspace. So we have brought in two computers in our workspace. What cable is used in order to connect these two computers? Just recollect the previous lectures. In one of our previous lectures, I have explained what cable should be used for connecting devices. For connecting two different devices, we have to use Ethernet straight through cable. For connecting two devices of same kind, we have to use crossover cable. Since these two are of same type, so we have to use Ethernet crossover cable. How to use crossover cable? Just go to the cables part, that is the connections part, and we have to click on this straight through cable or crossover cable. Since we are in a need of crossover cable, just click on this crossover cable and come to this PC. In this PC, we will have an Ethernet port. Just click on this PC, you will find two ports. One is RS-232 port, which is a serial port, and we are going to connect an Ethernet cable. And to be precise, it is a crossover cable. So we have a port here, that is the Ethernet port. Just click on this and again go to this PC and click on this PC. In this PC where we are going to connect. In this PC also we are going to connect in the fast Ethernet port. So we have taken a cable. Just visualize like this. We have a CPU, we have our computer, and we have our cable. This is like taking an Ethernet crossover cable and connecting it to the two Ethernet ports of the two different computers. And if you want to know more about this, just click on this PC and just go to the physical part. This is the CPU portion of this PC. Just scroll a little bit. You will find an Ethernet port here. Inserting that crossover cable into this port. And similarly, for this PC also we will have an Ethernet port. So this is like taking a cable and plugging it into the exact port. So far we have taken two computers. We have connected an Ethernet crossover cable to these two computers. Now we will see whether these two computers are reachable or not. But we are missing one thing now. We have not assigned any IP address to any of these PCs. Now we will assign IP address to this PC. Just click on this computer. Go to the desktop option. In desktop option you will find IP configuration. Just click on this IP configuration and we will give some IP address to this PC. Let it be 10.10.10.1 and let us not care about this subnet mask now. We will mainly focus on IP address now. Anyway, we will be dealing about this subnet mask in the upcoming lectures. So I have assigned the IP address to this PC, which is 10.10.10.1. And to this PC we will assign 10.10.10.2. Just click on this PC, go to the desktop option, just click on the IP configuration and give 10.10.10.2. So now we have assigned IP address to both the PCs. The IP address of this PC is 10.10.10.1 and the IP address of this PC is 10.10.10.2. And I will put a label so that it will be easy for us to understand. So this is just a label, it has no role to play with the networking concept. This is the computer that is having the IP address 10.10.2. So this is 10.10.10.2 and this is 10.10.10.1. Now we will see what is the IP address of this PC, what is the MAC address of this PC, and whether these two computers are reachable. Please note I am working with this computer 10.10.10.1. Now to know the IP configuration details, we know what is the command that is used to view the IP configuration details. To view the IP configuration details, in the command prompt of the computer, we are required to give ipconfig command. Just go to this PC. Now we are not going to configure the IP address to the PC. Rather, we are going to see the IP address. We have to see what is the IP configuration. So in that PC, we have to go to the command prompt and the command to know the IP configuration is ipconfig. Just click ipconfig and it gives the IP address detail. The IP address of this computer is 10.10.10.1 and we will see what is the IP address of this computer now. Just click on this PC, go to the command prompt of this PC and give ipconfig. So we are in the second computer and the IP address of this computer is 10.10.10.2. Now we will see how to see the physical address. Go to this PC, the desktop, this command prompt and give ipconfig /all and see what is the physical address of this computer. It is 00D0BC96C1CE and this is the MAC address. We know physical address are MAC address. If you observe, Windows used a different notation, Cisco is using a different notation. Cisco uses dot as the separator whereas Windows used hyphen as the separator. But whatever it is, MAC addresses are generally 48 bits. Now we will see the MAC address of this PC also. Just go to this PC, click on the command prompt and give ipconfig space /all. Here space should be provided, but in Windows you need not give space, whereas in Packet Tracer simulation you have to give ipconfig space /all. And the MAC address of this computer is this. So far we have seen how to see IP address and MAC address in the computers in Cisco Packet Tracer. Now we will see whether these two computers are reachable or not. Now I will go to this command prompt of this computer and I will issue the command ping 10.10.10.2, that is the destination computer. And this computer is going to send 4 packets and it will receive acknowledgements for 4 packets. Let me open this computer, command prompt, and let me give ping 10.10.10.2. Please note, I am working in this computer which is having the IP address 10.10.10.1 and I want to check whether 10.10.10.2 is reachable from 10.10.10.1. So from 10.10.10.1 I am issuing ping 10.10.10.2. So what happens if I give enter? It sends 4 packets. If connectivity is there, it will receive 4 acknowledgements. I will give enter now. Yes, I am getting replies for the 4 packets that are sent. If you could notice, it has sent 4 packets and it has received acknowledgement for 4 packets. So the number of packets that are sent are 4 and the number of packets that are received is also 4. So 4 packets are sent and 4 packets are received and we have encountered no loss. So there is 0% loss here. Isn't the Cisco Packet Tracer awesome, guys? Because this simulation tool gives the feel like we are working in the real device. It's really a very powerful tool. I recommend you always try things with Cisco Packet Tracer or any simulation tool. So this will certainly help you to understand things in a better way. And that's it, guys. I hope now you know how to download and work with Cisco Packet Tracer with the basic level. And we know the basics of Cisco Packet Tracer. And we have established an example peer-to-peer network using Cisco Packet Tracer. We have a lot of things to come in the upcoming lecture. Please don't miss those lectures. I hope this session is informative and thank you guys for watching.
Today I'm back again with the tutorial on Cisco Packet Tracer, and today we are going to learn about Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, also known as DHCP. So in my previous videos, as you have already seen, that we have assigned IP addresses manually for each system. For each device we have added to our network, we have given it a IP address by ourselves by typing. So the Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, basically its purpose is to assign IP addresses automatically. We just have to give certain ranges and subnet mask, and the remaining task is done by DHCP. So say we have thousands of computers on our system, so we just configure DHCP and we follow some simple steps, and IP addresses are automatically assigned to the systems. So let's start. For that purpose, first I'm going to add some router, which is this 2811 router. Then I'm going to add 2 switches. I will click this switch and I will select this 2950 switch. So I'm going to add 2 switches, these 2. And then I'm going to go here to the end devices, and in the end devices I'm going to add this laptop. You can actually add a system or anything you want. So I'm just randomly adding these. This is a system, and then I'm going to add a laptop to it. Any device you can add. So the next step, as you know, is that we have to connect these devices, and I'm going to select this copper straight through cable. Click this laptop, fast Ethernet 0, then take it to the switch, select fast Ethernet 0/1. Then again, go to the connections, select copper straight through, from laptop to the select fast Ethernet 0 to the switch. Select any interface. Again, select copper straight through from this PC, fast Ethernet 0 to the second switch, 0/1. Again, copper straight through from this laptop to our switch. Select any interface. I'm selecting 0/2. In the same way, we are going to connect copper straight through from our switch. Select any interface to our router. Select 0/0. Then I'm going to click this one straight through from our switch, select any available interface to our router, and here I'm going to select 0/1. So this left switch 2 is connected to router on interface 0/0, and this particular switch 3 is connected to this router on interface 1/1. Okay, 0/1 and 1/1. Basic network setup is done. We are going to configure DHCP. For that, we are going to click our router, and inside the router I am going to be going to the config tab, and I'm going to press enter here, the CLI tab, and I'm going to press enter. Here, first of all, the first command, here I'm simply going to assign IP addresses. I'm going to give a certain range of IP addresses and subnet mask, and then in the next step I'm going to enable DHCP. So the first step is of allocating IP addresses, and then the next step is enabling DHCP. So the first command that I'm going to give is, you have to enter the router configuration mode. So for that you will press en. After typing en, press enter. Now type conf space t, press enter. You can see that for here we only had router, now we have config t. So after that, what we are going to do, we are going to configure the interface one by one. So I'm going to write, first of all, I'm going to configure the interface 0/0 with which our first one switch is connected. So I will write int space fa 0/0, the name of the interface. Now I'm going to press enter. Now it has entered the interface 0/0. Now I'm going to give the command IP address, then the available IP address, whatever it is. So for interface 0/0, I will give .0.1. This is the IP address, and the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. It will tell that how many IP addresses we can use for this particular IP address and this particular subnetwork. So I'm going to press enter. That's I have done. After that, I have to give this command no shutdown. This has to be given, and then finally, when I give no shutdown command, it will change the state of our fast Ethernet interface 0/0 to up. That is, it will turn on our router and assign these IP addresses. And finally, we have to save this configuration by giving the command do write memory. Press enter. So building configuration, it has been done. So in the next step, what we are going to do is, for this same interface, we are going to enable DHCP. So to enable DHCP, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to type IP DHCP pool net1. So if this is your first pool of IP addresses for which you are assigning DHCP, you will give net1. It is any name you can give. I have given net1. For another pool of IP addresses for another switch or another network, I'm going to type net2 or any name, not the same name. Press enter. And here again, we are going to give the range of IP addresses that we want to give by giving the command network space the same IP addresses as I have given previously, 192.168.0.1 and the subnet mask .0. Press enter. So you are done with this interface. I'm going to press exit here. After assigning all these IP addresses, we are going to close this, and as you can see that the interface between this router and switch is already up. It has turned green. So we have to now configure this part of our router. So for that, this interface is 0/1. So we are going to go to the router, and now we are going to configure our another interface. So we are already inside the configuration, but if you are opening for the first time, you have to give en conf t. But as I'm already inside this configuration, now I have to give int space fa 0/1. First I gave 0/0. Now I'm going to configure the interface 0/1. Press enter. Here I'm going to give again the same command, IP address space 192 192.168, but this time I'm going to give a different IP address. I'm going to give 1.1, and then the subnet mask, you have to give a space and then the subnet mask .0, press enter. Okay, sorry, I gave the wrong spelling. Press enter. It is done. Now I'm going to give no shutdown, so that the state of my interface, the interface of this router 0/1 is changed to up. The state is changed to up. Then I'm going to write this to memory so that this is safe. Do write memory. Press enter. It is already done. Now we are going to configure DHCP. So for that purpose, I'm going to write IP space DHCP space pool, and I am going to give it the name of net2. As you can see, the first the interface for 0/0, I have given it name net2. Now I'm going to give it name net2. First was net1, and now I'm going to give network. I'm going to tell about the IP addresses that the DHCP dynamic host configuration protocol is going to use. .1. This time it's not 0.1, it's 1.1. Then the same subnet mask to tell the number of addresses that can be used. Press enter. So again, this is also done. You can exit from here. Okay, again, if you exit, we are going outside the configuration mode. So let's go out and check. Again, you can see this interface or this link is also up. Now, as the last step, what I'm going to do is I actually have to tell these systems, these PCs that are connected to this router via different interfaces, about how to assign IP addresses. So I'm simply going to click this laptop. Here I'm going to go to the desktop inside IP configuration. So first what we used to do, we used to type IP addresses here, right here, whatever IP addresses we want to give. Instead of typing, I'm going to click DHCP. It is requesting IP addresses, and you can see that it has automatically assigned the IP address 192.168.0.2. Why? Because to the interface 0/0 I gave the range 192.168.0.1. So it's automatically selected this IP addresses and the subnet mask. That's it. Again, go to this laptop, go to desktop, IP configuration. Again, instead of static, I'm going to click DHCP. So it has automatically selected the IP address, the next available IP address, that is 192.168.0.3. We don't have to give it. We don't have to keep in mind which was assigned, which the next IP address should be, and so on. So here, for the next switch or the next interface, click this system or the desktop, go to desktop, IP configuration, select DHCP. Here it is requesting IP address, request successful. Now it has chosen 192.168.1.2 because the DHCP and the IP address I given here was 1.0. So it is selecting 1, the next available IP address, and the subnet mask is given automatically, the one I gave. Click this laptop, desktop, IP configuration, DHCP. It is requesting the IP address, and you can see that it is automatically given 1.3. So if you go on adding PCs to this interface and also to this interface, so it is going to automatically assign them IP addresses, the next available. So this is how you configure DHCP on the systems in the network. So I hope it would be helpful for you. I'll see you next time. Bye.